when I started working, I prioritized setting aside money first for my savings, and then I lived off the rest. And that became so powerful because I tried to make do with what I had, whatever was left for the budget. I tried to make sure it actually fit. But if I wanted something, or if I felt that this won't really fit right now, I may need more money, it actually pushed me to become entrepreneurial. And that's why this entire road of entrepreneurship for me, it started when I was younger because I had a budget. I was also employed at that time. I was starting out as an employee. But I realized one thing, that my salary alone is not enough. Hey guys, so a lot of people save money. However, the biggest problem when they start saving is they keep on adding, they keep on adding, they keep on adding. But when there's something that happens, sale, or either an item that causes them to take it out, they remove all of their savings and they're left with nothing. I think that's a fundamental flaw when it comes to saving money. Why? Because I do believe that when you start saving, it's something that you're not supposed to touch. It's something that you're not supposed to take out. You make do with the rest. You try to find ways on how you can raise money for you to be able to buy the things that you want, or have a budget also that's allocated for different things. But whatever you allot for saving money, that's something that you're not supposed to touch. And that's what's going to make your saving very, very strong. So people think about saving also as, okay, I set aside money. And as I set aside money, for example, they would say that, okay, I make, say, 50,000 pesos. And from the 50,000 pesos that they make on a monthly basis, say they take out their expenses, electricity, water, cable, buying groceries, transportation costs. Sometimes they're left with nothing, or sometimes also they're even negative, meaning they're spending more than what they make, especially if you're using credit cards and they're not paying the credit card on a monthly basis. That's how you spend more than what you make. And that's also the biggest fundamental problem in the States right now. The reason why the US as a whole, and also in an individual basis, it looks glamorous that they get to buy the stuff that they want, but they are spending more than what they are making. And if you do that, no matter how much you make, you'll have a problem. So that's the general progression of how things are. Money comes in, everything gets spent. Sometimes it's zero, sometimes it's more than what they're spending. But for some people, they have a little left over that forms part of their savings. But I want to submit to you a different opinion on this. Why not, instead of prioritizing your expenses first, electricity, water, you're prioritizing your expenses first, then there's nothing that's going to be left. It's either you'll have a little left, or you'll have nothing left, or you'll spend more than what you make. What I want to submit to you is do something that's opposite. Why not, when your income comes in, regardless if it's 20,000 pesos, 50,000 pesos, prioritize your savings first. If you do that, I do believe that you will have more savings. Why do I say it's empowering? Because you're paying yourself first. You're paying your hopes, you're paying your dreams more than the expenses. And I issue a challenge to all of you. Just try it. Try to set aside money for your savings first. You may have the same salary, but you will see there's a different impact on how your money will be. Why? Because if you set aside money first for your savings, and then you see this is what's left, what's very interesting is that you will be creative in the way you would budget your money. Meaning, you have, say, allotted 2,000 pesos or 4,000 pesos or 5,000 pesos for the groceries, and then before you were actually spending 8,000, but you now know that you only have 5,000 pesos left that you need to actually use for the month. You'll be creative. When I say you'll be creative, is that you'll probably have a grocery list, or probably if you're buying very expensive and branded stuff, you'll try to be more conservative. You always have to remember this. Every time you go for the more branded ones, they're relatively more expensive, and they'll eat up also on whatever budget that you have. But that's what I've seen. When I started working, I prioritized setting aside money first for my savings, and then I lived off the rest. And that became so powerful because I tried to make do with what I had, whatever was left for the budget. I tried to make sure it actually fit. But if I wanted something, or if I felt that this won't really fit right now, I may need more money, it actually pushed me to become entrepreneurial. And that's why this entire road of entrepreneurship for me, it started when I was younger because I had a budget. I was also employed at that time. I was starting out as an employee. But I realized one thing, that my salary alone is not enough. It's something that won't bridge me to where I want to go, or whatever dreams I had, or whatever plans I had. Everything that I wanted was not enough just merely relying on it from my salary. And also the things that I wanted to enjoy, for me to be able to buy them, I had to get more. I had to earn more. I had to do something with my situation without affecting my savings. Here's a rule, and I hope this also motivates you. If you want to buy something, make sure you settle your savings first. If you are at the level already that you are investing, make sure also you settle your investments first. When you have those two plotted out, when you have those two also set aside already, every time you start earning more, then you don't feel guilty of spending it. Why? You've already actually set aside the money that you needed for you to be able to be financially well for that particular month. You did just also take care of your needs. You did also just took care of the things that you wanted to buy, but you prioritized saving. And I guess what's so important into all of this is that if you're having a hard time saving, it's not just about the amount. Saving money is never about the amount that you're putting in. It's always about the discipline and the consistency of doing it, even if you don't feel like it. Doing it, even if everyone around you is spending. When I was starting out, majority of my friends would spend, would go out, would buy stuff, would go on vacation. I wouldn't do that. There's nothing wrong about doing it, of enjoying, but I just have bigger dreams. I just had different goals. I was just in a different season of my life that I said, if I'm gonna enjoy, I'm gonna do it later when I've built my savings, when I've built my assets as well. So there. So when you prioritize your savings, when you prioritize paying yourself first, it pushes you to be able to be good at other things. It allows you to become creative in the way you spend, and it allows you to become creative also in the way that you would actually earn. By the way, guys, I'm with Little Satos. I'm crying now, but this is her OOTD. She's wearing a dress right now, courtesy of her Lola. So let's continue. To put this to a close, I think what's very important in all of this is that when you set aside money for saving, you don't touch it and you don't take it out. Always forget about it. Of course, it's different when you're saving like for an emergency fund. That if you have an emergency fund, if there's an emergency that comes your way, of course, you take out the money to fulfill that emergency. But if you're saving up for, say, retirement, you're saving up for something, a bigger goal, a bigger dream, then when those sales come, when those opportunities come that will cause you to spend, don't do it. You don't have to spend it. You have to be creative. I always tell people when they want to borrow money, it's not wrong also to borrow, as long as it's not a lifestyle. It's true that we all go through stuff, but if it becomes a habit, if you're doing that on a regular basis, and if you're borrowing from people on a regular basis, that's where when borrowing has become a lifestyle of starting to earn money, then that's where it becomes wrong. Why am I saying this? If you're in need, one of the things that you could actually do and would push you also to become a bit entrepreneurial and to somehow let go of stuff you don't need, just sell stuff. Sell stuff that you won't actually use. Sell stuff that's just deteriorating and depreciating if it's at home. Sell stuff if those are things that won't actually help you. I know for some items it could be a bit emotional, but sell it. And that will be like a motivation for you to become entrepreneurial. But in the same way also, it's practice, experience also for entrepreneurship. But above and beyond that, you know what it does? It gives you the money that you can use for you to be able to spend without even borrowing. So that's it. Key takeaway in all of this, save money, prioritize your savings first before you're spending or all of the wants that you have. Then as you start saving it, don't touch it no matter what happens. Try to think of your dreams and your goals first before any of those momentary spending. Things that will make you happy for the moment but will bankrupt you over the long term. So that's it for now. If you like to learn more, I have thousands of videos in my channel. They're in the description below. And I also have a webinar if you want to learn about the basics of the stock market, the basics of crypto, the basics of NFTs, or if you want to learn about how to time when's the best time to buy stocks, or how do you select stocks. Webinars down below. It's on demand. What's nice about it being on demand is that you can watch it anytime you want. If you can pause it, you can rewind it. If you're busy, you can stop and then do it also the next day. There's a strength also on having it on an on-demand basis because it allows you to be able to review more. So all of that is in the description below. But for those who love reading, my books are available via Shopee. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. God bless you all.